So lately I've been looking at videos talking about the Helen Keller hoax. The idea in some is that there was no possible way a deafblind woman like her could have learned so much or done as much as she did. Now, Soup Emporium did an extensive one-hour video deconstructing the myth, condensing it into one simple phrase:
lazy ableism.
I'm too lazy to look up how deafblind children learn to communicate, so I'm just gonna say it didn't happen, or shorter. I don't understand it, so it must have not happened. But let's be real. Is it remarkable that she got that far in an era where people like her would have just been thrown into asylums and forgotten about? Yes. Did she win the mother of all lotteries by A. being born into a well-off family of wealth, whose mother fought for her? B. was able to have someone like Anne Sullivan. C. had people willing to even give her a chance. Yes, she absolutely did. That makes her phenomenally lucky, not fake. But let's pause and examine what Helen would have had to do to convince the whole damned world she was faking. And we will analyze how absolutely asinine it would have been. For starters, we will examine Helen's parents. They were from the Old South breed, the stock that valued tradition, family values, blood, and reputation above all else. Arthur Keller himself was a Confederate officer during the Civil War, seeing action in battles such as Shiloh in 1862. Due to that fact, his family would have been well known to the general public. And add the fact that disability at the time of Helen's birth was a source of pity, fear, or shame. So no, I cannot imagine them having a conversation like,
"Kate, shall we train our baby to pretend she's deaf, blind, and mute? Think of the fame and fortune to be had when we hire someone to break through the darkness."
Oh, Arthur, that's a terrific idea. We should begin the minute she's born.
Wonderful, but I insist we wait 19 months to make sure we got it all right. I will begin preparations immediately.
What would they gain from that? Why would they risk the pitiful mutterings, the side-eyed glances? And more crucially, how the heck do you teach a toddler to fake being blind and deaf? The Kellers struggled for 6 years with Helen before finding Anne Sullivan. 6 years. From 1886. Watching her scream, cry, punch, hit, kick, bite. All while completely unable to help her, to connect to her. You're telling me a perfectly able-bodied toddler could pull off the deaf-blind girl trick every second, every hour of every day for 6 years? Grown adult actors slip up, need multiple takes, and you think a 6-year-old could do any better? They're not known for following directions. All it'd take is for 5 minutes of Helen alone.
James, stop being so clumsy. You'll wake baby Mildred. I'm telling Mama, I wonder if she has the chocolate puddings ready.
Captain Keller, now, I thought your girl was blind, deaf, and mute.
Dang it, Helen!
The facade, if there was ever one, would have lasted for a few months. Tops. Now let's talk about Anne Sullivan. 14 years older than Helen, she was born into a life of hardship. After her mother died, and her abusive father abandoned her, she and her brother, Jimmy, were sent to the Tewksbury almshouse. The conditions were just brutally horrible beyond words, with Jimmy dying of tuberculosis 4 months after their arrival. And despite numerous operations on her eyes, Anne was effectively legally blind for her whole life. She would eventually wind up in the Perkins School for the Blind, where, in 1887, she was dispatched to the Kellers to help Helen. Now think about it. A no-nonsense young woman who survived abuse and hardship, who knew what it was like to be neglected and forgotten by the world. You really think she would have stuck around if the Kellers were running a scam?
Miss Sullivan, I have a confession. I'm not really deaf and blind. My parents made me do this for some reason. I don't know why.
You have exactly 5 fucking seconds to get back inside. I am going to board the first train back home to Boston, and I will inform Dr. Anagnos of Perkins about this treachery.
She would have been gone within weeks. But let's say Anne, for some fantastical reason, played along. How in God's name are you going to trick an entire college? You see how quickly this theory is falling apart? As we go along this train of Helen was faking, we have to invent new, more convoluted, more complicated reasons. We're not even near the part where she became a lifelong deaf-blind activist, traveling all over the world, meeting world leaders. And the hoax people will have you believe she faked it every day for 88 years, despite literal video footage, such as this one from 1928, in which Anne demonstrated how she taught Helen how to speak. I'm unable to download the video, but in short, They found that putting her thumb on the throat, her first finger on the lips, second on the nose, she could feel the vibration of speech. No trickery, just adaptation and the willingness to learn. But the hoax people seem to think if you are disabled, you are literally just a vegetable lying in bed. Remember how I said earlier, Helen was damned lucky to have the connection she did? The people who cared enough about her to fight for her? That's how she, and really anyone frankly, can get far in life. The right connections, the right people, the will and drive to learn, to keep going. And it all started with two parents who refused to give up on her, and a woman who refused to surrender. So again I ask, why? What do the hoax people stand to gain? To them, the theory that relies on increasingly convoluted explanations makes more sense than she really was deaf and blind. So before y'all peddle out this theory, please take 5 minutes to research. Who knows, you might learn something. Because remember, disability doesn't mean helplessness. They're just as capable as anyone else. Thank you.